Hello everyone, it's Mardi Gras. What do you think of my mask? I went through all the masks at the Dollar Tree trying to find one I thought kind of looked like a puppy. I don't know what this one looks like. Okay, so I have a question for you. Let me scoot over just a little, try to center myself. Today is Mardi Gras, February the 28th. It's also our live video chat with Sara, that's me, from Posh Pooch Designs. And we have a lot of things to talk about today. And I have a question for you to begin with. Who knows what Mardi Gras even means? If you know, just type it in. My ears are a little pointy, aren't they? Good morning, it's Mardi Gras. Well, I asked the question if you know what Mardi Gras means, and later on, hello Michelle, clink. I've got my polka dot black cup. I thought it looked a little bit Mardi Gras-ish, if that's a word. I don't have a Mardi Gras cup. And I still haven't found my Posh Pooch Designs cup. I even cleaned out my cabinet downstairs. I checked underneath and everywhere where I hide all my extra coffee cups. I don't know what I did with my Posh Pooch Designs cup. Well, anyway, it is Mardi Gras. And if you know what Mardi Gras means, type it in there. I had to look it up because I didn't know. I got another one for you. One of the symbols of Mardi Gras is this fleur-de-lis. And that's a French phrase. And if you know what that one means, type it in. If you watched my video yesterday where I showed you how to make one of these, I told you what fleur-de-lis means. And it is in French. Because remember, down in the New Orleans or New Orleans, however they say it down there, there's a lot of French-speaking people. It's a beautiful language. I wish I would have learned it. My son can speak a little bit of French, and they're teaching it to their daughter, but I just struggle with those foreign languages. Hi, Brandy. Clink. Happy Mardi Gras. Hey, another thing, if you want to know how I made these fun beads, I didn't earn them. I made them. Good morning, Jen. Clink in. Well, if you've watched my video from last Christmas where I did the Christmas bauble garland, that's all this is. I just did it in the 3 colors, tied it in a knot, and hung around my neck. Is that not fun? Hi, Stacy. Clink. I'm only going to wear this mask a little bit longer. I paid a whole $1 for it, so I should wear it for a while. Like I said, I went to Dollar Tree, and I saw them sitting there, and I dug through the whole rack of them that had them, on those pegs, until I could find one I thought kind of resembled a puppy. I'm not sure if this one resembles a puppy or not. Okay, it's driving me crazy. I'm going to push it up. There we go. That's better. Now I can see, even though my hair's crazy now. Oh, well, it's Mardi Gras, right? So, do you know what Mardi Gras means? If you know, type it in there in those comments. And if you know what fleur-de-lis means, type that in too. Well, today we have a lot to talk about, and we're going to be talking about these new yarn cakes that are just everywhere. Wait a minute, Brandy, I think you Googled. That's right, she got it right though. Fleur-de-lis means fleur is flower and de-lis is lily. So it means a flower that's a lily. And Mardi Gras means Fat Tuesday. And if you've ever investigated what Fat Tuesday means, it's really an interesting thing. So go ahead and Google it. Can you talk about the corner-to-corner stitch? You know what? That is on my list, Jen. It is on my list. I did a video last year when I was first starting out because I have some graph patterns that I use the C2C on. Now, my daughter, Elizabeth of Callie's Clips and Crochet Creations, is doing a series on C2Cs, and she's doing the mini C2C, which C2C, if you don't know, is corner to corner. And there are tons of techniques for doing it, but that is on my list for later on in the year. So, but there is a lot of good ones out there, but I would recommend you check out my daughter's at Callie's Clips and Crochet Creations because she's doing the mini C2C, and she's got graphs that she's doing. It's a fun crochet along, and it's all free, so go check that out. Anyway, let's get back to our yarn cakes. Now, there are lots of new yarn cakes coming out, and I was only able to get 3. I was able to get the Burnett Pop, and I got this at Walmart, and I'm going to tell you, well, I'll tell you about that in a second. I'll just show you what I've got. And then the other one I have is Karen Cakes, and I got these at Michael's. And then the Sweet Cream rolls, and I couldn't find them anywhere, and I ordered them from Kay's Crochet. And a lot of times if you can't find something, if you go to Kay's Crochet and order from her, she has really good prices, and she sends really quickly. So those are the 3 that I had, and I couldn't find the Mandela, and I'm not sure if it's Mandela or Mandela. I just called it Mandela. And I checked on the Lion Brand website, and they're not going to be sending that one to Colorado just yet. And the way that worked was I didn't have a contract with Walmart, and Walmart chose where those Mandela cakes are going. So if they're not in your area, don't get upset at Lion Brand. It's Walmart that chose where those things are going to go. He's Canadian French. La Fleur. Oh, that's pretty. French is such a beautiful language. Really, really is. Okay, so let's talk about these real quick. The first one that I tried was the Karen Cakes. And I'm going to pop on my glasses because I've got some notes here to read. And I'm sorry if there's a little bit of glare. Now, the Karen Cakes is made by Yarnspirations. It's a medium number 4, which is worsted weight number 4. But it's only 80% acrylic, and the other 20% is wool. So if you're sensitive to wool, this might not be the one you want to use. Although I am sensitive to wool, and I haven't had too much trouble with it. I was making, I think the first time I used it was a shawl, and I didn't have any trouble with it. And the other night, I'm using it to make something else. The other night I was working with it, and I got a little bit of a rash on the top of my arm, but it's from the wool. So if you have a sensitivity to wool, you probably don't want to use this one. I'm going to go take my glasses off because it's too much glare. But the neat thing about the Karen Cakes is it has really beautiful colors. And they've already discontinued some and come out with some even newer colors. And the colors are long color changes, but they're also very abrupt. So in other words, the blue is a nice long color, but it stops and changes instantly to the pink rather quickly. So you have to kind of keep that in mind when you're doing the patterns with this. Keep that in mind, because for instance, if you try to make like a child's hat, you're not going to get all the colors because the stripes are very long. But this one of the ones I've tried is my favorite to use. I like how soft the yarn is. It's a real true number 4 medium. And some, because like a Karen Simply Soft is a number 4 medium yarn, but it's a lot thinner than, say, another worsted weight. So you have to keep that in mind when you're doing patterns. The second one that I tried was the Sweet Cream. And I have to tell you, I forgot to tell you, this one has 7.1 ounces. I forgot. So it has quite a bit on there. The Sweet Cream is also a lot of fun to use. To me, the texture is more like, it is a worsted weight number 4. It is acrylic. But the texture to me was more like, I love this yarn, cotton yarn. So it's very soft, but it's not fluffy soft. And I do really like working with this. The one I used the other day was the Wasabi Pop with all the greens when I did my Whispering Pines scarf, which is really turned out really neat. And it also has long color changes, but they're not as long as the Karen Cakes. It's not as long. And the amount of ounces in this is, I wrote that down. Let's see. Karen Cakes, it has only 5 ounces, where the Karen Cake had 7 ounces. The Sweet Cream only has 5 ounces. And this one is made by Premier Yarns. You can see that right there. And I did like working with it. I did. It's a nice yarn. It's soft. It's just, the texture's a little more like a cotton to me, which is fine because it works for a lot of things. All right, so the third one that I tried was the Burnett Pop. And I have to tell you, it is also a medium number 4. It has only 5 ounces on it, which is odd. You would think it would be the same as this one, but they're not wound as tight. They're real loose, and the paper keeps falling off of it. But one thing that I found in working with it is a lot of the dye has spilt over into the other colors. And I made, what was I working? Oh, I've got one that's just beautiful. That's pinks and grays. I think it's called Lipstick on Your Collar, which is kind of cute. It's pinks and grays and whites, I think. And I was making one of my patterns with it, and I noticed that there was a lot of gray in the pink and a lot of pink in the white, and there's blotches of it. And I don't know if that's on purpose, but I don't really care for it. But I have to tell you, to me, it feels a little bit like Red Heart Super Soft. It's not as soft. It's not as, just the quality to me is not as good as the Caron Simply Soft, or the Caron Cakes. I keep saying Simply Soft. Now, the interesting thing is that the Burnett Pop is also made by Yarnspirations. You can see that right there, Yarnspirations. It's made by the same company. And it has 5 ounces on it, like I said. And another interesting thing is this recommends an H hook, where the Sweet Cream Roll, they recommend you use an I hook. But I didn't. I still used an H hook on one of my other projects, and it worked up just fine. So that one's kind of up to you which one you want to use. Now, so the Caron Cakes is my favorite. I think the quality is the best. I think the colors are the brightest and the prettiest. They're abrupt, nice colors. The stripes are nice and long. There's no bleed over. But the other downside, of course, is it has 20% wool in it. Now, I really like the Sweet Cream. It has less on it. And these are wound really tight. That's why they look so small compared to to this one. Even though this is 7 ounces, this is 5 ounces. So this one was my second favorite. And I really did like it. I like the way the colors are. They have some really different styles and different colors that are different than a lot of the ones you get with this. And so the third favorite, of course, was this one. And again, to me, the Burnett Pop, the only place, of course, I've seen them is online and at Walmart. And my Walmart had them for $4.97. And they had a whole bunch of them, and they brought out a whole bunch more the other day when I was there. But like I said, it has, I call them Farleys. They're little blotches of where the ink, or the dye looks like it bled over, like right there. And I don't know if that's on purpose because it's very random. It's not like every so often at the same point. It's really random. And to me, it looks like the dye ran over is what it looks like to me and bled into the other parts of it. Like, see, here's a big long one right there. And I just thought it looked messy. And the way they're wound is a lot looser and a lot messier. And I don't think the quality is as good. That's just my opinion. But I've only made one project with it. And it does crochet up interesting and nice. And they do recommend that you use an H hook for it. So it is the price I paid for these was the same because when I bought these, they were on sale at Michael's. And then when I've gone back for, like, say I only bought one cake and I really needed 2 for a project, I just used my Michael's coupon, and it ended up being about the same price or less than the ones I got at Walmart. Now remember, these are made by the same company. They're both made by Yarnspirations. But sometimes when things are sent to Walmart, I don't know. I shouldn't say bad things about Walmart, but it just seems like the quality is not as good as the one that I get from. And the only place I've seen these is Walmart and on the Yarnspirations site. Now they've come out with another one. It's by Lion Brand, and I have not been able to get a hold of it. And like I said, I contacted Lion Brand, sent them an email and asked them if they were going to be coming to my area. And the Mandela yarn, the thickness is a 3, where these other 3 is a 4. And they also recommend that you use an H hook, even though it is a 3. And the amount of ounces is 5.3, and it's 100% acrylic. And but I haven't been able to get them because what Lion Brand told me, and I think I already said this, I'm just repeating myself, but what they told me in the email is that they have a contract with Walmart, and Walmart ordered so many, and Walmart is who's deciding which stores the new Mandela cakes go into. And from what I understand, they're going to eventually roll them out to more stores. And my thought was that they put them all out in the southern stores. And I think they're thinking because they're a 3, they're lighter weight. And so maybe that's why they put them in the southern stores. But my thought was, if you really want to see if someone's really going to love a certain kind of yarn, go up north where it's cold. You know, that's just my thinking on that. And so that's kind of the rundown on all of the cakes. Now, there are a bunch more coming out with a bunch more other companies that I haven't had a chance to really check out. That's just what I have found with my thoughts. Stacy, she says, I love the Mandela yarn. It's the only cake I've tried so far, though. And I have heard really good things about the Mandela, that it's really soft and that it crochets up nicely and it's good quality. So I'm looking forward to getting a hold of them. I went to, I think last Monday, a week ago yesterday, I decided I was going to try to order some in so I would have it in time to be able to give you a good understanding of what the Mandela was like. And when I went online, everyone I clicked on was sold out. And I thought, well, that's just God telling me I don't need to order those right now because they're $9.99. So I'll wait, you know, and I'll get some eventually. You know, I love yarn, so I'm going to get it eventually. Okay, so that's my take on what I have so far. Now, that doesn't mean I'm not going to buy any more Burnette Pops. I'm just going to, you know, think about what I use them on, basically. So, and I do have a pattern that I'm going to be coming, it's a pattern I've already written. It's called my Fat Stripe Bag, Big Fat Stripe Bag, I think, or something like that, that I'm using that particular yarn that I was telling you about, the lipstick on the collar, which is different shades of pink, white, and some beautiful gray. It's a really pretty yarn as far as the colors. And so as I work on it, I'm you know, seeing that it's different. And it doesn't mean it's not a good yarn. It's still a good yarn. It's just not the quality. Oh, my hair's sticking out behind this band. It's just not the quality that I'm used to. That's all. All right. Now, the other thing I wanted to talk to you about is I did a video Thursday or Friday. I've been real sick, and so what I had done is I had several videos for my YouTube channel ready, and it worked out really well because I was able to edit those and still get a few videos out, even though I have been really sick. I got that crazy stomach flu, and then I got a sinus infection on top of that, and my voice is still a little scratchy, but I'm doing good. I'm on the mend. I'm happy. All right, so the other thing I want to talk to you about is how to make some for yourself. And that was the video I did that I put out last week. And if you have one of these, you can make some cakes for yourself, and even if you don't. And on the video, I show you how to take some colors. Now, of course, these cakes are a lot smaller because my winder is a lot smaller. But it's a neat way to come up with maybe some colors that aren't out there, or you have a specific reason. Like I did some like this in the red, white, and blue, so that I have some long color changes, and I show you on the video how to do the Russian join up close so that you can join them together and you can keep right on going and make some really neat things and maybe some color choices of your own. And I did these using my winder. But what do you do if you don't have a winder? And that's another thing I address in that video. You use these. And I used to do these on these before I had my winder. And I've had my winder a couple of years. I can't remember how long. But I used to do them this way. And I would do this with just my leftover yarns. And you can see I would layer them so that I can see, like this one has beige brown. And you can keep going and keep going. It's a great way to, like if you've got a basket of yarn balls that are left over from projects, it's a great way to just add them together, do that Russian join, and just keep right on going. And sometimes, I'm going to give you a little secret here. Sometimes I just tie a knot, and then when I'm working, I go back in and join it correctly, just so I can get rid of a whole bunch of my yarn balls and wind them on these. And these work great because you can stand them up and they're not going to roll all over the place like your yarn ball. Plus, you can come up with some really great color combinations. So anyway, I did a video on how to do these and how to do the other ones along with the Russian join in there. And it's a really great thing to do, and it's fun. And like I said, you can come up with a bunch of color combinations, and you can get rid of all your scrap yarns. And I do keep my weights the same. Like if I have all worsted weight 4, I keep it the same, or chunky, or number 3, or whatever I've got thread. I do keep the weight the same on the rolls, whether I'm doing it this way or this way. I keep the weight the same. But you don't have to if you want to make something crazy and fun. It's total. That part is totally up to you. So that's my talk on the cakes. And one thing to remember, it's just my opinion. And you may have a different opinion, and go out and find them and have some fun with them. A lot of people don't like them because they have the long color changes and the abrupt stops. But I love them for that. I think it's just a fun technique. Now, I'm not going to use them for everything, but it is great to have a fun technique like that you can use for a big project. Yesterday we did the fleur-de-lis little pin, and there is a scarf that goes with it that I made, that I put this on. The pattern, both of them are free, but I did the video on the fleur-de-lis. And remember, fleur-de-lis means flower lily. Okay, that happened yesterday. Tomorrow I'm going to be doing something really fun. Now, I made these cups, oh my goodness, a couple of years ago. And it's a really neat process. You get a white cup and you write on it with your Sharpie. And the only thing is you don't want to put it in your dishwasher because it will wear it off after you do it a whole bunch of times. But this is something I'm going to do a video on probably tomorrow or the next day, depending on time. But this is a lot of fun. And these make such great gifts because you can personalize them. And the reason I decided to do this is because I've lost my Posh Pooch Design mug. I can't find it anywhere, and I'm going to make myself another one. Okay, that's coming up. And then I have a couple other things over here. We have this little coaster. You can see it's got a little clover in the middle. I like to set it this way. That's something that's coming up, just a quick little coaster. And then we also have, March is coming, and I've been doing some fun shamrock and clover stuff, and I have a few more coming out, patterns that are going to be coming. I got a new hat. I'm calling it my lucky hat. I'm not going to show it to you today. I'm going to show it to you next week. But so that means we're going to have a new 6-inch square, and this is our 6-inch square for March, and I've got it blocking here on this board. Some lady messaged me on YouTube, and she said, "You're so stupid. Don't you know you're not supposed to block acrylic yarn items?" And I messaged her back, and I said, "I am not stupid, and I block everything I can." I deleted it, though, because I don't want any negative on there. But anyway, you can block your acrylic. And when it comes to doing squares especially, I block them. I blocked this one because I wanted it to be, nice and square. You can see it needs some more work right there, huh? But I do. I block when I'm doing something small like that, I block it. Now, if I'm doing a great big blanket, I might put it on gentle through the washing machine and hang it outside or lay it on my deck. So, don't think you can't block acrylic. A lot of people don't, but I just think it crisps it up and it makes it look really nice. And I just use water. I do have a video on how to block acrylic if you want to see it. It's in my YouTube channel also. So, Terry says, "Where I live, I cannot find one cake of any brand." And another thing that I have found out, that a lot of them haven't gone to Canada, and a lot of them haven't gone, I have a lady that follows from England, and she can't find them either. And it's just atrocious to ship them over there. So I think it's one of those things that's just brand new. They've put them out in America, and you might have to wait a little bit before, like Yarn Inspirations, I think you might be able to order from. And the neat thing, Lion Brand occasionally will have a, is it like free shipping and 20% or something, because I order from them occasionally and I wait for the sales. And that's what you have to do. So, oh, Terry lives in Kansas. You should be able to find them in Kansas. And you know what? What you can do is you can go online and you can check at your local Walmart. You can check your Hobby Lobby and your Michaels to see if they carry them. And if they don't, give them a phone call and ask them. Don't run all over the world looking for them. And you can also, you know, like I did, I just emailed Lion Brand because I wanted to know about the I don't know how you say it, if it's Mandela or Mandela. Either way, it's a really pretty name. But yeah, just investigate and stuff, and you can, you know, instead of running all over, you know, the world, all over America or whatever, and just ask around. You can also ask around in some of the yarn groups who's found it, and maybe they can kind of let you know where to look for it as well. They're great fun, and I really, really love them. I'm just, like I said, I'm a little disappointed in the Burnett Pop, but you know, with yarn, there's all degrees of quality. I mean, something that you might make with Red Heart Super Saver might work better if you use, say, Red Heart Love or Red Heart Soft, and they all have a different purpose. So, you know, I do a lot of my dog stuff with the Red Heart Super Saver because it's washable. And so, but I may not want to make a baby blanket out of that because it might be a little rough. So they all have a different purpose. So anyway, I hope that you can find them, and because they are a lot of fun to work with. And I'm finding that you know, they're not going to work for everything because of those long stripes, but there's just so much fun. And make some for yourself out of your leftover yarns. Oh, I just had so much fun with that. And I've got I'm not going to show you, but I've got a huge basket over here of balls of yarn, and I need to make some more. And one thing that I found that was interesting is I would put colors together that I didn't think would go together, and they did. I was like, oh, why did I think of that, you know? So anyway, everybody have a wonderful Mardi Gras. Don't overdo it. Be careful how you earn your beads. Or you could do like me and just make some. So have a wonderful week. Let me put my mask back on. Have a wonderful, wonderful week.